Sunday is qualifying still. We're in a marathon. We're at Indy The Big Go, the 70th annual. Got our driver right there getting buckled in for the first pass of the day. It's about 83 degrees, I think, something like that. It's pretty warm, but it's got a nice breeze. I think it was like 56% humidity, and I'm just kind of winging that, but that's close enough. I'm gonna go up here and just see what it does. We just got back from the round. You see how hot it is. It's smoking hot. It ain't as hot as it was Friday, but it's hot.
It's hot.
So, same exact run basically.
Pretty much, same thing. Maybe a little further. It was a little slower early on purpose because we knew
how bad the dang track was. I mean, it's just hot and greasy.
This is a case where they will probably make a pretty big move in the power level and the clutch, just because we thought we had it choked down enough that it shouldn't go. I mean, just to give you an idea, Friday night we went 838, 60 foot. Right then we went 864.
Oh yeah, y'all did have it back on down.
Choked down.
Well,
and it's actually going far enough that in my mind I'm like, okay, we got it, but it's way down there when it's full of tire swings. But again, we weren't the only ones.
No, the whole field basically.
Last day, I promise. Rambling. One car went down the right lane, and it was Tony Schumacher with the hole out basically the entire way, and it went 394.
Good.
One car.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
7 cylinders.
We got one more shot. We'll see what we do. 7:13. But we'll come back and tell you what we did after that.
Oh.
All right, y'all. Back up in the lanes. Last shot at it for the U.S. Nationals. About the same kind of weather. We got a bit of an overcast. Well, it's coming and going. It's clouds in the sky. We have 3 people behind us on the list. That's Etta, Jasmine, Doug Foley. Those are 13, 14, 15, no, 15, no, 14, 15, 16, and then Doug Coletta, Sean, Langdon, Lex June, and Krista Baldwin. Those are the 4 that are not in. So here we go.
.378.4, 320 miles.
All right, y'all, location change. We did the run. I didn't do a wrap up, but as you can see, they got down a little further, a little better, more ET, more mile per hour, but you see how slow their 60 foot is. It is a little faster than that first run, but just trying to get it down the track. Everybody was struggling. They weren't the only ones. I was sweating bullets up there because being number 13, both Coletta cars were they weren't in the field. So I knew if those 2 got in, that was going to bump us on down. And then Jasmine and Ida and Doug Foley could have just moved us around too. So it was a little pressure cooker up there to me. I'm sure all them guys wasn't sweating it like we were, but never have no doubt in them. Don't get me wrong. But it's the U.S. Nationals. We wanted to qualify. We did not want to be in that spot where you didn't know if you was getting in or not. Doug Coletta did not qualify, which is shocking. So I just wanted to jump in and say that, and now I'm going to carry on. We clinched the countdown. I kind of want to show that. That was pretty cool. And then I'm going to do a wrap up on the Funny Car call out and a wrap up on the Pro Mods because they ran their race today. And I want to run through the other classes, show who qualified to number 1, and then who has who going into race day on Monday.
Do the Jerry Lawler strut.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what to do.
Oh, there you go, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, let's go with that funny car call out. That was Tasca called out Cruz, Cap called out Paul Lee, Matt Hagan called out Alexis DeJoya, and that left J.R. Todd and Chad Green.
First pair, round number 1 on a 118-degree racetrack. Starting line advantage to J.R. Todd. And at the stripe, J.R. Todd wins it. 395, 318 miles per hour. J.R. Todd into round number 2. You probably take that pretty personally. Del Worsham walks away from her machine. Dickie Venables from Matson. Here we go. Matt Hagan off the line first. Alexis has to pedal it, and Matt Hagan's into round number 2. 393, 327 miles per hour. Low ET of the Pep Boys Funny Car All-Star Callout so far for the race. And Paul Lee. Ron Cap's off the line first, but he smokes the tires, and Paul Lee burns one up in the lights, but moves on to round number 2 as he went through the lights, but Paul Lee's moving on. Here's another look at the instant replay. Keep an eye on the Paul Lee machine. You can see Ron Cap spin the tires at 300 feet. He is out of it. Paul Lee's got a cylinder out, now 2, now 3, and there's the flash out the front wheel wells on that machine. Definitely going to be some work to do, Joe.
Here we go.
These are the 2 highest qualified cars, the Big Go, right now. Cruz rolling in there and left on Bob, smokes the tires, pops the blower, and Bob Tasca goes 393, 332 miles per hour, and by 2 thousandths of a second, Matt Hagan is going to have first pick for round number 2 of the call-out. Remember,
J.R. Todd takes out Chad Green, 395 to a 4 flat. Matt Hagan over Alexis. She had to pedal it. He went 393. Ryan Caps smokes tires, went 484. Paul Lee blows it up, but gets the win with that 401. And then Cruz, he smoked him. Bob Tasca, 393. All right, so Matt Hagan had the first call out, so he called out Paul Lee, so that left J.R. Todd and Bob Tasca.
Pep Boys All-Star call-out. Off the line first, J.R. Todd, and the triple-up effort comes to an end. 397, 326 for BT3. J.R. Todd was off the line first, but Bob Tasca had passed him by 150 feet. Tasca the third. Paul Lee off the line first. Good drag race to the stripe. Paul Lee is going to the final by 6 thousandths of a second. Paul Lee is going to race for the cash against Bob Tasca.
That right lane is a little tricky. J.R. Todd smokes him. Tasca goes 397 for the win, and then margin of victory on Matt Hagan and Paul Lee, 6 thousandths of a second. 396 with an 8 to a 397 with a 2. Paul Lee versus Bob Tasca.
Call out, Tasca double bold. Paul Lee's got to get in. Here we go. Off the line first, Paul Lee. Does he have the race car? Coast Fest. Who got him? Paul Lee. Paul Lee wins the Pep Boys All-Star call-out.
What a crazy race. Paul Lee takes 80,000 for the win on a coast against Bob Tasca. Congrats to Paul Lee and that whole FTI team. All right, y'all know that I'm at the race. It's hard for me to keep up. I love to give y'all some highlights. I know that Daniel Wilkerson had a blow up in Q1 today. I'm going to show that. He's fine. He made it back to the Q5.
Father Tim piloted the win at the U.S. Nationals 4 years ago. Wow, a big bang down there for Dan Wilkerson and a 392, 327 for Austin Prock. Austin Prock goes to low of the session by 6 thou, and Dan Wilkerson's car grenaded one out of that car very quickly. Just take another look at the replay here. Watch Dan Wilkerson. He goes 401 at only 282. Tells you the problems start before the finish line. Down the track that car goes. Wow, a big fire for Dan Wilkerson. And no warning. You did not see cylinders out. Didn't appear like that car was really spinning the tires, and then it just erupted into a ball of fire, pushed the burst hatch out the front of the car there. Yeah, that burst panel out front of the supercharger there. It's supposed to help relieve some of the pressure and keep the body from getting too messed up. But watch this Skag Jackal machine. Everything looks good until it doesn't. Bangs the blower, flames out the side, the burst panel flopping through the air, fluids are flying, and for Dan Wilkerson and that Skag Power Equipment team, a lot of work to be done for the team that's currently the number 12 qualifier here at the U.S. Nationals.
Austin Prock goes in number 1 qualifier. Here is who's going to line up against who tomorrow. All right, y'all, we're going to get back to the normal way I do it. I have started off with Funny Car since they had that call out, so let's get back on track. Pro Stock Motorcycle. Highlight was, when I say highlight, I don't mean like, oh, it's a highlight, like it's great. That ain't what I mean. It's just what happened in that round. And Q1, Angie Smith goes off in the sand. She's fine. She didn't make it back up for Q5. I know they were trying to get all that sand out of her bike.
And Angie Smith for Denso. Stock Seth Racing, the Matt Smith Racing Buick. Angie was number 1 after Friday on that new machine, got bumped down to 5th. Chase Van Zandt, 106 60 foot, 688 Chase Van Zandt, 686 Angie Smith. Angie Smith sits in the number 5, and here comes a pair of Revzilla, Vance and Hines, Hayabusas. Oh, Angie's in the sand. Wow. There's a look on the top end. Angie Smith went off the top end into the sand. She is up and standing there as if she's not really sure what happened or why, but that is a brand new MSR Buell. And it is on its side. Here's another look. Let's watch again. On the top end, Angie Smith coming at you on the left side of your screen. That's the right lane of the track, the Strange Engineering side. Chase Van Zandt off the throttle fine. And watch Angie. Now look at her working the pump. Look at her, she's pumping the brakes, pumping. At this point, she's like, not good. And she's already effectively setting herself up for what she knows is coming. Make sure the motor is killed. That's carrying quite a bit of speed into the sand on a motorcycle. And a big hit too as she comes off that motorcycle, jumps right back up, and you can tell how frustrated she is. That's a brand new motorcycle to this team.
Gage goes into tomorrow, number 1, 680, 197 mile per hour, and then this is who's going to line up against who in the morning. Pro Stock Car, I really didn't have any highlights. Greg Anderson is low of every session they ran. He got every bonus point that he could get, 20 points, matter of fact. That's a lot of points. He went 657, 207. That's where he ended up number 1. And there were some pretty big names that didn't make it. Derek Kramer, Chris McGahey, Larry Morgan, Kenny Delco, all of them are going home. But here's who's going to run who tomorrow. Top Fuel, number 1 qualifier, Brittany Force, 369, 333 miles an hour. She ran that on Friday night when the conditions were probably good as we've seen them. Tomorrow's going to be a whole different day. It's going to be cold. I say cold. It's not. It's going to be cold compared to what we've been through these past 4 days. So, totally different ball game tomorrow. This is how they're going to line up. But the ones that did not qualify, Doug Coletta, which I said I know earlier, but it's just still shocking to me. Jasmine Salinas, Krista Baldwin, and Lex June. So those 4 didn't make it, and this is how they're going to line up tomorrow. Pro Mod. I'm going to show you the ladder so you can see who has who, but the craziest one is Lyle Barnett versus Stevie Fast Jackson.
Kicked your tail in the first round at Indy. Barnett is driving Jose Gonzalez's borrower ride. Lyle Barnett, testing earlier this week, had a massive fire. You can find the video online if you want to. Car ruined. Lyle, fine. Jose Gonzalez said, you can't miss Indy. I got a car. You can borrow it. Lyle in the left, Stevie in the right. All right, boys. Let's shake and let's bake. I guess Lyle would be bake after the fire, right? What? Pre-staged. Lyle Barnett goes in. Stevie fast, right behind him. They both get away clean. Advantage Barnett. Advantage Barnett. 575, 248 miles an hour. Lyle left first, got there first. Quicker than he qualified. Stevie goes 5.809. Quicker than he qualified. What do you think the topic of conversation will be on Shake and Bake? What do you think the odds are that Stevie has a cold? Oh, sorry, Lyle, can't make it this week.
I would have loved to have been down at the end of the track when Stevie and Lyle got out. I bet they did some trash talking. So, that was a pretty good run. Stevie's a little late. That 50 to Lyle's 21, 75 to an 80 on the run. And this is how they lined up second round. Lyle ended up getting his teammate, Ken Cartuccio.
In round 2, Lyle won this race a few years ago. Red light, Lyle Barnett, fourth thou, too soon. Ken Cartuccio's going to the semifinals, 581, 247. Lyle Barnett throws away a 578.3 at 248 miles per hour. Low ET of the round for Lyle Barnett, but he let go of the button, fourth thou, too soon.
So semis is going to be Ken Cartuccio versus Kevin Rivenbark, and then Mike Stravinos, I'm probably not saying his name right, versus Billy Banneker.
For a trip to the final round at the 70th running of the Toyota US Nationals. Off the line first by 1 thou is Ken Cartuccio. And he hangs on. 578 beats a 580. Margin of victory, 21 thousandths of a second. Ken Cartuccio will race with an opportunity to win his first national event. Stavrinos grabs a bunch on the starting line. Does he have the race car? He does. Mike Stavrinos on another hole shot will race for the Wally for the first time in his career, and he's going to do it at the biggest race of them all. 581, 243 beats a 579, 246.
So that was pretty good races. Ken Cartuccio took out Kevin Rivenbark, 578 to a 580, and then Mike Stravinos takes out Billy Banneker on a hole shot win, 581 to a 579. So to the finals, Ken Cartuccio and Mike Stravinos. And I know I'm saying that wrong. I hope I'm not, but I probably am.
Cartuccio left, Stavrinos right. Here we go. Whoa, Stavrinos gets out of the groove. He pedals it this way, that way. Cartuccio goes to the winner's circle, 576. 247 miles an hour for the win. Mike Stavrinos was 008 on the reaction timer. But the All-in-Hobby Performance Machine got out there, danced, wiggled the tail, went back and forth, and by the time he got it straightened out, Ken Cartuccio was gone.
Wow, Stavrinos, I think that's what Alan was saying. And by the way, welcome back to Alan Reinhardt. Glad to have him back. But Stavrinos got loose, and Ken Cartuccio takes the win. He's our first champion for the U.S. National, so congrats to him. Tomorrow, I will be back with this recap, so appreciate you guys watching, liking, subscribing. Check back in. I'll be live tomorrow over in the pit, so check in with me over there. Also, see you tomorrow.